let us see the expression for the angular momentum. Now this diagram is similar to the diagram which we have seen in the rotational kinetic energy. So this is irregular shaped rigid body made up of n number of particles like m1, m2, m3, so on, mn, and these particles are situated at a distance r1, r2 dash rn from the axis of rotation. Let the body is rotating with a constant angular velocity omega. As the body is rotating with a constant angular velocity omega, so angular speed of each particle is same. Means all particles are completing their one revolution in equal interval of time. Angular velocity is same, means period is same. So that is the uniform circular motion of the particle, and body is rotating with a constant angular velocity omega. So this is a part of our consideration. So omega is constant here, and the linear velocity is different for the different particle. Here we have to use the concept of linear velocity because linear momentum is mass into velocity. So starting from our known equation about the angular momentum, that is L equal to vector r cross of vector p. Here the angle between this r and p is 90 degree because r is from the axis toward the position of a particle and linear momentum is tangential. So radius tangent angle is 90 degree. So side 90 is 1. So its magnitude will be directly taken as L equal to Rp and P equal to mv, that is mass into velocity. So see the write up of this. Let us consider the object to be consisting of n number of particles of masses m1, m2 dash mn at respective perpendicular distances r1, r2 dash rn from the axis of rotation. As the object rotates, all these particles perform UCM with same angular speed omega, but with different linear speed. V1 equal to R1 omega, V2 equal to R2 omega, and Vn, that is the linear speed of nth particle, that is Rn omega. All these things are same whatever we have written about the rotational kinetic energy. Now what is the linear momentum of the first particle? Linear momentum of the first particle, its magnitude is P1 equal to m1 v1. What is v1? v1 equal to r1 omega, that is the linear speed of the first particle, it is r1 omega. Hence linear momentum for the first particle becomes m1 r1 omega. Now the direction of this v1 velocity vector is along the tangent. Angular momentum of the first particle will be, so its angular momentum is thus of the magnitude. So what is the angular momentum of the first particle? It is r1 p1 or p1 r1. But what is p1? P1 is m1 r1 omega into r1, that gives you m1 r1 square omega. So angular momentum for the first particle is m1 r1 square omega. Similarly for the second particle it is m2 r2 square omega. For third particle it is m3 r3 square omega, and so on. For nth particle it is mn rn square omega. Hence total angular momentum L will be sum of angular momentum of the n particle. So it is equal to m1 r1 square omega plus m2 r2 square omega plus so on plus mn rn square omega. If omega is taken common from this term, so inside the bracket m1 r1 square plus m2 r2 square plus so on mn rn square, this bracket term is I. So substitution for this bracket term is I, that is the moment of inertia. It is algebraic sum of mass of each particle and square of the perpendicular distance from that particle to the axis of rotation. So this bracket term is I. Hence L equation is I into omega. So in this rotational dynamics, so L having two formula. One is your starting formula, that is R cross of P, that is L vector, and another equation is L equal to I omega. Here I is tensor quantity and direction of L is same as that of direction of omega. We have studied the direction of omega in the beginning of the chapter, it is an axial vector. So L is also an axial vector. Let us see one more relation in this rotational dynamics, that is the relation between torque and moment of inertia. To study the torque and moment of inertia, here tau formula is I alpha. So while studying this derivation for a rigid body, here we have to consider body is rotating with a constant angular acceleration alpha and not rotating with a constant angular velocity. If angular velocity is constant, then alpha will be 0, then the torque will be 0. So remember, while studying the torque, whenever the torque is acting on the body, so it produces the angular acceleration like Newton's second law of motion, because external force is always directly proportional to rate of change of linear momentum, means it always produces some acceleration. Similarly, torque in rotational motion produces the angular acceleration. So consider irregular shaped rigid body made up of n number of particles having masses m1, m2, so on, mn. These are situated at a distance from the axis of rotation like r1, r2, rn respectively. So force on the first particle will be tangential, that is F1 equal to m1a1, that is mass of the first particle into linear acceleration of the first particle. Similarly, force on the second particle will be tangential, that is F2 equal to m2a2, and force on the nth particle will be Fn, it is tangential, because only this tangential force produces a torque, as we are studying the derivation for the torque, because torque is basically calculated by the equation force into moment r. In vector notation, it is written as vector r cross of F. So vector r cross of F is nothing but the tau, that is the notation for the torque. So consider in the same manner like your earlier part, only in place of the omega constant, here we have to say the alpha constant, that is constant angular acceleration. All other things are same. Consider the object to be consisting of n number of particles of masses m1, m2 mn at respective perpendicular distances r1, r2 rn from the axis of rotation. As the object rotates, all these particles perform circular motion with same angular acceleration alpha. As the object rotates, all these particles perform circular motion with same angular acceleration alpha. So here angular acceleration alpha is constant. So what is linear acceleration for the first particle? A1 equal to r1 alpha. For second particle, A2 equal to r2 alpha. So on, an equal to rn alpha. So force experienced by the first particle will be F1 equal to m1 a1. A1 will be further splitted as r1 alpha. So the equation for F1 becomes m1 r1 alpha. But tau, what is torque on the first particle? Torque on the first particle will be F1 r1. Substituting the F1 from the earlier equation, it becomes m1 r1 alpha into r1, that gives m1 r1 square alpha. So torque on the first particle is m1 r1 square alpha. Similarly, torque on the second particle will be m2 r2 square alpha. Torque on the third particle will be m3 r3 square alpha, and so on. Torque on the nth particle will be mn rn square alpha. Now total torque will be the sum of torque acting on the n particle. So that is tau 1 plus tau 2 plus so on tau n. So when we add all the torques of the nth particle, so alpha can be taken common, and inside the bracket m1 r1 square plus m2 r2 square plus so on mn rn square. So this bracket term is I, hence the torque equal to I alpha. Here I is a tensor quantity, alpha is an axial vector, so torque is also an axial vector. So the direction of torque will be given by the direction of the alpha by this equation, and earlier equation for the torque is vector r cross of vector F. So for angular momentum as well as torque, you have two formulas. by these derivations. One is starting formula by which these expressions start, and one is the new formula which you obtain at the end of the each derivation. So revise the two formulae. Angular momentum basic formula is vector r cross of vector p equal to vector L. At the end, L equal to I omega. For the torque, the starting equation is vector r cross of vector F, and it is modified into tau equal to I alpha. So for angular acceleration or acceleration in the rotational dynamics or rotating body, in each problem you have to come across this equation tau equal to I alpha. I will once again repeat my sentence. While dealing the problems of the rotations, so whenever there is a linear acceleration or angular acceleration, you might come across this equation tau equal to I alpha. So tau equal to I alpha is very famous equation, very important equation while solving the problems and the MCQs in this rotational dynamics. Now studying the next heading, that is conservation of angular momentum. So this is similar to the law of conservation of linear momentum. It is analogous question to that law of conservation of linear momentum. The law of conservation of linear momentum was when no external force acts, then linear momentum remains conserved. Similar to this, when no external torque acts on the rotating body, then its angular momentum remains constant or remains conserved. So conservation of angular momentum, whenever no external torque act on the system. So as we know, angular momentum equation L equal to vector r cross of vector p, differentiating this with respect to time. So this proof of this conservation of angular momentum we are studying. We have taken the equation for angular momentum and let us differentiating it with respect to time. We get on LHS dl by dt equal to d dt of on RHS vector r cross of vector p. So here first term constant, derivative of second, that is dp by dt, plus second term constant, derivative of first, that is dr by dt cross of vector p. But dr by dt is vector v because r is a position vector. This change in position, dr means change in position, that is displacement upon time, and displacement upon time is velocity. So dr by dt is v vector and dp by dt is force vector. This is Newton's second law of motion. Rate of change of linear momentum is nothing but the external force. Hence this dl by dt above equation become r cross of vector f plus this is linear momentum is m into vector v and dr by dt is again v. So vector v cross of vector v. This linear momentum is m v vector and dr by dt is again v. So v cross of v. So self cross product of a vector is 0 because it is product of magnitude of two vector and sign the angle between them. Angle between v and v means itself is 0 and sin 0 is 0. So this product is 0. Hence only the term remains, that is r cross of f. So as vector v cross of v is 0, dl by dt equal to vector r cross of vector f. But r cross of vector f is torque. This is moment of force and that moment of force is called as torque. Hence the torque equal to dl by dt. This is similar equation like Newton's second law of motion, that is f equal to dp by dt, like this tau vector equal to dl by dt. This is analogous equation. This we have obtained while studying this conservation of angular momentum. Now from this equation, if tau is 0, then L must be constant because derivative of constant term is 0. If L is constant, then derivative of constant term is 0 means tau is 0. If tau is 0 means L is constant. Like this is the concept for this. Means whenever the no external torque act on the rotating body, then its angular momentum remains conserved, remains constant. Let us continue the applications of this in the next part.